Hi guys, it's me Karen. I've come to do part 2 to the book we're doing the little mouse in. So I finished off the chair for the most part, and we're going to do the other mice, the leaves, the foot, the books, and the blankies along with the book itself. So I'm going to bring the camera down and we will get to it. Okay, we're back down. Now, one of the things I was going to do, because some of these little dots and flower pieces got a little muddy when I was doing them, is if I see one that doesn't look too terribly bright, like this little guy here, I'll just take a little eraser on a portion of it, and then we'll go in with the lightest color that I colored in there, and that was the light peach. And just kind of go over the area that I erased, just to brighten up those particular ones a little bit. If they get too bright, we just go in with the raspberry and get it a little darker, but at least it's not, you know, deep gray like it was before. You can try just putting in the raspberry itself, so you have still the shadowing going on, which is nice too. But like on the flower, the tips of the flowers, I want them to stand out. So like these guys down here, we'll just take and do one of the tips of the flower, go in with the beige and just blend it back up. This one is a little dark here. So just a little touch, and that's all we're doing, is getting it a little highlight right there. It adds a lot to the, I got a little bit of the gray over here I got to fix up. Anyway, it adds a little more character to the chair. So that's just a little thing that I will just be going back and doing over and over again. Okay, now we have the rest of the mice, the blankets, which I have to do first. And I think I'll do the book too. The blanket, I want to kind of do in the tones that I think a crocheted blanket of that color would be kind of like a creamy color with some brown tones in it. Kind of an ecru color is what I'm after. You'll have to excuse my voice, but for some reason it isn't as loud as it normally is, which isn't saying much because I hear my voice is not loud to begin with. I really try to speak up, but sometimes it doesn't help. So I'm going to get Eggshell, Light Umber, and Chocolate. We'll see what we can do with these colors. So I have to sharpen that up. So I hope you enjoyed the last video. I'm only making this one because you wanted to see the rest of the picture. So we're going to go in with the eggshell first, which is kind of a cream color. And I'm just going to go kind of over the whole thing. And then we're going to add, I think I missed a gray spot here. Add the brown tones and the definition of the stitches in with those colors. Okay, I need to get some gray there. This is the 90%. So make that nice and dark there. I just play with this all the time, so. I'll just add another little of the, I believe this is the 10%, just to blend it in. And I'll have to erase the part that I went out of the thing with. Okay, now we're going to bring in light umber. And the stitches in crochet, especially in a nice thick blanket like this, you're going to have the shadow under the stitches. So we're just going to kind of go in and highlight the stitch marks here. I don't know if any of you crochet. Yes, I do. My daughter was little, I crocheted her a blanket for her bed. It was a labor of love. She loved pink. I had painted little bunny ballerinas on her wall, and she wanted a pink blanket. So I thought, oh, well, I'll just sit down and crochet one. It's not going to take that long. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. It was long, and it was pink. I have to giggle. It's not my favorite color. It was kind of like a hot pink. But the amount of hours that you have to put in to make a, it's a twin size bed, and what I did was made it so you could drape it over and it touched the floor on all 3 sides, and then it would fold back and her pillow would tuck in and you would fold the pillow over. So it was quite large, and it took forever. But boy, when I was done, it was like I never wanted to look at pink again. It turned out really pretty, but just the pink that I had to look at for months and make sure all the stitches were right was just too much for me. But she liked it, so that was the most important part. Of course, it doesn't take a young one too long to decide that they would prefer a different color, 6 months. So I just bought her blankets from that on. Yeah, she got tired of the ballerina bunnies too, so had to paint those over. Okay, now we're going to bring in some chocolate, and we're going to sharpen that point. I guess we really didn't have to. Oh, that's why we didn't have to. Okay, hold on. Okay, fixed the pencil sharpener. Broke the lead in there, so I had to take it apart. I wasn't going to do that on camera, so got it finished. So I'm just going in with the chocolate, darkening some areas, leaving light on the others. The stitches that go downward, kind of a little darker. you kind of get the hint where you're just going to go in and out of each one of those, and then we'll come back in with the eggshell and just blend it. And if you want any place lighter, you can either use the eraser or a white pencil. I'll show you the white pencil. So I want this one a little lighter. We'll just go over it with the white. And just add a little lightness. It'll also help to blend it. If you want it a lot lighter, just bring in your eraser and get an edge erased, and then come back in with the eggshell one and blend it in that way. So you have two ways of doing it. Okay, so I'll just continue with that. I'll do that off camera, and we'll work on another area here. We've got the little quilt down here on the bottom. And what we'll end up doing is the ones with the flowers are all going to be the same, and the stripage will be the same. So we have to figure out a color we would like that. I don't want to bring in the same red. I want a different color. I'm going to make the little hanging light a blue flower, so I can bring in either blue or purple. And I think I'll bring in a purple. Just kind of a light purple look. So we'll grab whatever this one is and whatever that one is. Okay, what do we got? Parma Violet and a Lilac. I thought they were kind of a nice color. So we're going to put the Parma down in here. And every flower will be done the same way. And then we'll just bring in the lilac. Add it in there a little bit. Leave the tips white. Because we will bring in the white and give it a nice soft edge up there. Just blend that in. Okay, you can bring the Parma back in if you want to darken that up at the center. Bring in for center, I don't want bright yellow, so we'll just bring in the eggshell and a little of the chocolate. And there we have kind of a yellowish look. Same color as up above. The little square. I'll bring in the eggshell around the edges. And then bring the chocolate in just where the quilt would be sewn together. Kind of try to make it look like a nice cozy blanket. So kind of fluffy. Bring back in the eggshell and then just blend those together. Okay, that brings down that color too, so that works. So all the little panels with flowers will be done that way. And let's see, we can add, we'll put in some gray stripes with well, we're going to have green out here in the leaves. So maybe I should bring some green into that blanket. Let's see. So the leaves are going to be done in moss green, green ochre, and pale sage. So we'll bring in some of that color in here. This is the, let's see, moss green. We'll just go in every other stripe. And bring it across. And then from this side, we'll just bring it across. This is going to kind of be the same pattern that's on the leaves. Bring in the, what is this called again? The pale sage, and just bring that across. Okay, then we're going to go in with the green ochre and darken this side and kind of just pull it across. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring a little more of that up. Make it look more like a stripe. There. That looks pretty good. All right. So that's basically the pattern on our blanket. I'll do one more of this stripe down here. So is the moss, this is the sage, and then we go in with the ochre. All greens. Yeah, I think that look good. It'll bring the green out here too, so that'll be fine. All right, the book. we're going to do with kind of antiqued pages. Excuse me. So we're going to go around the edges with the eggshell, the crease, and then just lightly bring it out. Same on this side. This corner up here. And the book pages that are on the outside. Okay, then we're going to take the chocolate, kind of just very lightly draw in some page lines. It's just lines. So you want to add those in. You want to go down the spine and bring some of that color out. And on the page up here, page on this side. Under her nose a little bit. Okay, I'm going to blend that all in with the eggshell. You want to make it a little darker just in the spine. Blend it back in. Okay, then we'll bring in some white or another color that's lighter than eggshell. I don't know if I have white in here. What do we got? French gray. What does that color look like? Add it in a few spots and see if we like it. It'll work, I guess. Bring it in towards the center of the book. Blending all those in. Okay, then we're going to want to add a little bit, oh my nose, of the Posca here. Make sure it works. On the pages, just want to bring in some lines. Just so it looks like the pages are actually pages in the book. And I'll mess with that a little bit more later. But that looks kind of good. The leaves are going to be done like the leaves on the other page. So do we have a leaf here? We'll work on that. So it's, let's see, moss green. We'll bring that down. Okay, then we'll bring in the, oh, I have to do it on the other side. Sorry. Go upward on this one. Okay, now the pale sage. Then the ochre, the green, green ochre. A little of the pale sage in the center here. Bring back in the moss green. And that's what our leaves will look like. I'll do one more of those. Moss green first. Pale sage. Plastic sheet. Then go in with the ochre. And back in with the moss green. And if you need to lighten it back up, just add the green again. Anyway, that's how those will look. And, excuse me, I will get the little flower up here, and we're going to do it, I was thinking in blue, but I didn't put any blue down here. Well, I can put it in the books, I guess. So we'll just get a dark blue and a light blue. What do we got? Is Ultramarine a blue? Just grabbing a couple of colors here. Let's see how this will look. It's pretty. That'll work. Okay, ultramarine flower. Put it up here. Ooh, that's bright. And pick this side as a darker side. And then bring in the Blue Violet Lake is what this one is called. Gonna leave a space there. Space there, and a space up here. Go back in with the Ultramarine and kind of blend that a little bit better. Okay, back in with the Blue Violet Lake. Okay, then I'm going to bring some white, if I can find my white. From that side, okay. I'm just going to blend that in with the white. Soften that side up a little bit. Okay. And we're going to do the stem up here in the moss green. Have that go down. Okay, we'll bring in the pale sage here. Go down. Got our little lamp here. Okay, then we're going to go in with the green ochre. Okay. I'll probably add a little bit darker blue up here on the flower just to give it some depth. I don't know what blue I would use. I've got to find a darker blue. Let's see, this is I will leave all the colors down in the description box. I'll let you look at it because me reading it doesn't help you much. So that's the name there, and that's the number. And I'm just going to add it in the darkest spots and then bring down some veins on the flower. Bring that down into the white that I put there. Gives it a nice pretty color. Okay, that looks good. Okay, leaves will be done off camera. Rest of the blanket will be off camera. The books are just going to be done in all the colors that are here. So one book will be green, one book will be pink, one will be gray, one will be blue, one will be purple, and one will be tan. It's an easy way to bring them in. So the blue is up there. We're going to do the biggest book down here. I'll just bring the camera over this way. Biggest book in blue. I'm being attacked by my cat. He wants a pet. Okay, and then this book has a binding or a front cover you can see. So we'll do that. Bringing in the lighter of the two blues, the Blue Violet Lake. Okay, if you want it darker on the edges, bring in that lovely blue I had shown you before, and just bring it on up into the binding there. And there's a tiny bit of the cover right there. All the pages, I assume you see the pages in this book, these two books, this book, but you're not going to see it in the two top. So I will show you how the pages are going to be done. Same as we did up here. Put in the eggshell. I'm going to do them all at once since I'm here. And I'm assuming these are pages. Then we're going to go in with the chocolate. Okay. Just adding stripes in there. And then we'll take the white Posca and do the same thing. Add a little white in there also. Then when that dries, you can go back over it with pencil and make it look a little bit more like the pages in a book. So we're going to take the purple we used and we're going to do the little book on the bottom. This is the Parma Violet. Then we will bring in the Lilac. Then we'll bring in a little of the white like we did on the flower. So just bring that in. It's got a tiny hint of blue in it because I didn't check the pencil, but that's the way it goes. Okay, what else do we have? We have the green book, so we can do one of those green. They're basically all the books are done the same way. So we have purple, green, blue, pink, gray. Let's put you've got green leaves going all the way around. I can't have pink or gray next to the gray chair, so I might as well do this in green. So this is the moss green going down. Then we'll bring in the pale sage. Sorry about that, phone call came in, so I just did the sap light sage there, and then I'm coming in with the green ochre. I think this is like an indented spine, so I'm just going to put it in that area and along the edge here. Shadowy parts. Go back in with the pale sage and just kind of blend that around a little bit more. Then back in with the green moss just to darken it up. Pull some of that gray off the couch for shadow down in here. Just like that. Okay, so now we have a green book. So that'll be a green. We have to have a pink book. Basically, they're all done the same, so I don't know why I'm doing all of them. Let's see. I'll do the pink one down here. So this is just raspberry. And then bring in the, what is this now? The light peach. Just blend it in. Go back with the raspberry and darken it in areas if you want. Kind of want it darker underneath this book because it would make a shadow. Then we can take in a tiny bit of, any color here. What do we got? Light umber. Kind of make that shadow a little bit more of a shadow. Okay, we're going to put a tiny shadow under here with the same color. There we go. I'll mix that in with the purple a little more. There. Okay, so we've got a gray left and then a tan, I guess. So let's stick a gray book in. We'll go with the 70 and the 30, because they're the ones I picked up. And that's what I'm going to use. So we'll put the dark gray one down here. And it's got a little tail over on this side. Okay, that was the 70%. This is the 30. We're just gonna fill in the remaining of the book with that and blend it all together. If you want any shadow on that, I would suggest a black. So just coming in with a little bit of black in here. And you can re-accent all your lineage. Since we went over it with the Prisma, it kind of takes away the lines. You can do that on all your books. Okay, darken that up a little bit. And while we're here with the black, we can add in some of those book lines a little better. Try to go in one direction, unlike me. Okay, so our last book was Tam. So we're going to do it with the Eggshell first. Oh, and it's backwards. So we just lay down our Eggshell, picking up some of the blue accidentally there. Okay, then we go in with our chocolate. Cover up that blue. Kind of do it on both sides. And on the book cover. Okay, then we're going to go back in with the Eggshell and blend that. Okay, then we'll go back in with our black and redo our lines. If you're wondering, this is a polychrome most black pencil I'm using. It was on my desk, that's why I'm using it. Okay, I'm going to add a couple of these down here. Add a little shadowing right there. Okay, a little bit more there, on top of that book, under that book, under that book, that book, and just the little line there. Okay, so our books are done. And we're going to work on the mice because we want to get those finished. Okay, I'm going to do the adult here. Not sure if it's mommy or daddy, but we're going to make it mommy. My household, I always read the nighttime stories, only because I wanted to let my husband have the evening off after he worked hard. So let's see, I can either do her brown or I can do her gray. So I was going to have a brown one, a gray one, and a white one. So I either do him gray and her brown, or the other way around. My only problem is this is kind of a brown color, and if I do her brown, it might blend. So I'm going to have to do him brown. But then I think if I do her gray, she's going to blend into the background. So she might get some fluffy ears. We will have to find out. So we're going to go ahead and add gray on her. And this is the 10% cool gray. Just kind of in lines. Okay, we're going to have to go up here. We're going to have to add a little white on her anyway, so I'm going to add a little line right here, and we're just going to color up above this. Her ears are a little odd at the top of her head. So we're going to kind of do a darkness there. I'm just going to add some gray in here down to this point. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of a darker gray and start bringing that in. Okay, bring it around her face. And up to her ear. Up and around this ear. I'm going to leave that part of her kind of light. Bring it up into this end of the blanket. And bring it out here. Okay. Gonna leave this like a soft gray down here. So we're just gonna color it in. Bring some of those light fur hairs in here too. Then I'm going to add white into her. Now I assume this is her underside down here, so we're going to do it in dark. Try not to get into our other mouse here that we already did white. And just add some fur into her. Both colors. And then we'll be adding some white in there also. Just going to blend that together. Give it the illusion of fur. Okay. Now her eye is going to be down the little dark gray here. Back here, and then light in the center, bringing those two colors together. Bring in a tiny bit of black. Just to get into that corner and do her eyelashes over again. I'm going to add a little of this in her fur too. Just around her nose. And the back of her eyes here. Very lightly. There we go. Now we'll do him. Okay, we're going to do him in brown. So I'm going to start with the eggshell. And yeah, I'm gonna make him a big brother. She looks like a little little sister. So I'm just gonna add the eggshell in kind of stripy lines. It doesn't have to be blended because we are in fur here. Kind of all over here. Okay, then we're gonna go in with both the light umber and then the chocolate. So we'll start with the light umber and add in little lines for his fur. Okay, we'll go up here into his ears and just bring down some lines down here. Get some fluff into his ears. Other side, do the same thing. Bring the lines down to his ears. Fluff into his ears. And now to make him just a bit darker, you can add a little chocolate into his fur. Put a little darkness down here around his chest too. Can we leave his nose light? Color in his eyes. And his little face here. Do a little bit of his ear. Doesn't need to be too pink in his ears. And he can have a little brown nose. I love how those blend together. Okay, Mom's gonna get a little pink nose. So we'll put in the light peach first. Add in the raspberry. And blend again. Do the same thing with her ears. We'll put in the light peach. Put a little light peach in his ears too. Okay, then we're going to put a little raspberry in. just a tiny bit in his ears. Blend it in with the light peach. Okay. Now if you want, just to make their fur stand out a little bit more, you can always add in a few strands of this with the Posca, get it a little fluffier. Since Mom's got gray on her, the Posca will pick up the gray. Just do it real lightly. A few strands in their ears. Just a few strands here and there. Go back in with the browns if you got them in a spot you don't like, and just cover them up a little bit. Same with the gray on Mom if you want to tone down some of those. Just go in with the grays again. I'm going to darken up his eyes a little bit more here. I need a darker brown for that. Let's see what I got. Dark umber. Just look more like he's sleeping. Add a little more in his nose there. Okay, so I'll bring the camera up, and that's basically what we have. And what I'll do is turn off the camera, finish the leaves, finish the blanket, and I might add a little detail here and there with the Posca pen, like on the flowers, to give it a couple little lines and dashes. But other than that, we're just about done. And I will leave a picture at the end of the video on the finished page. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you like these kind of videos, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. If you have, thank you so much. Ring the little bell if you'd like notifications. I really appreciate all you guys more than you know. So thank you for watching again. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in another video. Take care, everyone. Bye now.